What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Game. Bet you didn't think you'd see something like this. Wow, I look terrible in this light. Oh well, I'll deal with it. Anyway, we're going to do a little bit of a different playthrough today. This one, Valkyria Chronicles. A game that originally launched on PS3. Excellent game, which we'll get into much later over the course of the entire playthrough. Remastered on PS4 and PC. Naturally, I'm playing the PC version. I'm committing a bit of a sin, to be honest, because I play with an Xbox One controller, but it's not going to matter. Trust me. I've played this game multiple times. It's not going to matter. Anyway, let's get going. The cutscenes and stuff like that in this version.
The year was
are usually pretty loud.
1935 EC. Two powers controlled the continent. In the
Up at
east,
top left,
the sun rose over the
Fake Ireland.
autocratic East European Imperial Alliance, otherwise known as the Empire. In the west, a network of loosely allied democracies formed the Atlantic Federation. Both powers depended on a precious mineral ragnite for their survival, and its growing scarcity led to the inevitable war.
As it's pretty
Hostilities
obvious,
began in the east when the Empire aggressively crossed their western border.
it's basically a
The
pseudo
Atlantic
World War
Federation
II.
responded, and the Second European War was on. The Empire, with its vast military superiority, struck hard, gaining ground in early victories and putting the Federation on the defensive. Emboldened by their progress and momentum, the Empire set their sights beyond the borders of the Federation. In neighboring Gallia, a peaceful principality along the sea, they found their next victim. Gallia had long maintained its neutrality in the tensions between the two superpowers. But the rich stores of ragnite under the Gallian soil proved too tempting for the Empire. It amassed troops along the eastern border and invaded with all the force of an avalanche.
For the simple reason is the engine and the way it's all done
Prologue.
scales
Gallia
exceptionally
to
well.
arms.
And it looks gorgeous. The higher resolution you can go, the better it looks. Can be said about any game, but it's especially true in this one. Now, these in-game cutscenes or in-game story scenes, they might seem a little bit of a low resolution.
March.
In the PC version, they
1935.
actually use the
Outside the
unmodified
Gallian border
720p
town of Brule.
PS3 versions. I realize you can patch in the other ones with mods and stuff, but it's way too much effort. If you're playing on the PS4 version, you actually get
Residents
redone
are leaving the
1080p
town
cutscenes.
before the invasion, headed inland towards the capital.
But even with the jaggies and the slight low resolution on this,
I haven't been down this road in
you can
years.
see
It
a
really
nice
hasn't
quality.
changed very much.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And once we get into the
Whoa.
proper deal, once we get
Already?
into proper rendered stuff, this
Hey there,
looks
guys.
like trash compared to it.
You're beautiful. Starting early this year. You're heading upstream, huh? How's the water?
So this is us. This is our boy, Welkin Gunter. We'll be properly introduced to him now in a moment. But like many of us, he's just a nerd.
Freeze! Put your hands in the air. Slowly. Haven't seen you around before. What's your name?
My name's Welkin. And you are...
The one with the gun. We're with the Bruletown Watch. I'm Alicia. Alicia Melchiot. So, I'm wondering what you've been writing in that little book you've got there. Imperial spies are in the area.
And
This
I
book is
really
nothing, really. I was
The
just
microphone's not
sketching
picking
the
up some
fish and,
small
you know...
extra sounds in the background.
Yes. Oh, I know. And you know there's a war on, don't you? All right then, Mr. Artist. We'll talk about fish sketching down at the station. Take him away.
Seems a bit unreasonable.
Thanks, fish.
Thanks, fish. You have the choice to play this on English or Japanese track. I, first off, have played it originally with the English track back when I first played it. And this game has such a wide variety of talented voice actors and quality voice actors and well-known voice actors. So if you're familiar with games, voice acting, animation voice acting, live action voice acting, yes, you can have live action voice acting. It's live action like TVs and live action TV shows and movies with the voice actors in them doing voice roles, as well as anime and games and things like that, cartoons. You'll hear some familiar voices. So real quick before we go any further, this screen here is the chapter book basically. What we're going to do here in this playthrough is every individual part of this playthrough is going to be what you see here. It's going to be the double page side of it, so it's going to incorporate multiple different cutscenes and a battle. Later on we will get instances where we have 2 battles per chapter. Once we get to those, we're going to break it up into possibly a page each, just because it's kind of awkward to sit there and play through for maybe 2 or 3 hours at a time in one video. So anyway, on to Prologue Part 2, Gallia to arms, the Imperial attack.
Flowers, bugs, and fish. You're not bad with a pen, are you?
Yes, Alicia.
I have to say, they're really very good.
Thank you.
Dealing with fish.
So
and
you
all
see,
that.
I really was just sketching.
Maybe. Or this could be some kind of secret code.
Secret code.
And I intend to take my time finding out for sure.
Great.
As you can probably tell, by the way,
Welks? Is that you?
I have no proper lighting.
Isara! Oh,
And
your
I'm Irish,
timing is perfect.
Which is why I'm so damn pale.
What have you gotten yourself into
Deal with
now,
it.
Welkin? Wait. Don't you live at the old general's house?
That's right. I'm General Gunther's daughter, Isara.
You do know everyone's supposed to evacuate, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that. My brother's here to help me move to the capital, but that may be difficult. I mean, unless you're willing to let him go, that is.
Huh?
And that's Isara. Isara Gunther. AKA Welkin's
I apologize, but I was just doing my job, you know. I saw you with the notebook and thought you were a spy. Again, I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks. Don't worry about it. I can see how I might have looked a little suspicious.
Welks has a
I
real
can
passion
actually
for observing
feel
nature.
I'm not
That's
really
why he's
looking at the
studying
camera,
it at the
but I
university.
can actually feel
right?
my face.
Guilty
just
as
like
charged.
grinning,
I
'cause
get
just-
so into it
this game just
sometimes
makes me
I
so
forget
happy.
where I
It's
am, or
ridiculous. The
that
characters
somebody
are
might
so
be
good.
watching me.
And the interactions with them are just brilliant.
Gunfire!
Admittedly, I do
Everyone
know
keep your heads
the
down!
entire story, so I know how it develops and all. And I know
Over
how
there!
the characters develop. It just to see them.
Come on! Damn it!
So the war is actually setting in.
Welkin, you can handle a gun, right?
Yeah. I mean, I made it through training anyway.
Well, they're probably just a small scouting team. We should be able to take them out.
I'm with you.
So we've got our first actual gameplay level. I already know how to save it. You just press Y and you get your save, Steam Cloud, blah blah blah. Prologue. Gallia to arms. Well, everything in the prologue is Gallia to arms. Encounter at Brule. So this is our first action stage. This is where you're really going to see the graphics set
Okay,
in.
here's the plan.
Even now, just there, that portrait is actually rendered. Might not look anything spectacular. I think it looks gorgeous, to be honest, because I love the brushed artwork style of this game. But once we get into the game and actually control it, you'll forget about it. So we've got to eliminate the Imperial scouts that are approaching Brule. We'll deploy from here and take out all 3 of them. Just cross the bridge and take them down as fast as you can. Our objective here is to eliminate all enemies. Let's take care of them one at a time, nice and easy. So basically, we can't allow either 20 turns to pass or either of the two main characters to die. And obviously we just win by
Let's
killing
get started.
everything.
Just stay calm and get it.
So what kind of game is this, and what kind of person would probably like this game? We'll get to that now in 1 second.
I see
because
3 of them.
Talking.
That's 3 too many. Stay sharp. Listen a second.
So these are command points. I'll explain these once we actually get into the game, but when combat starts, you'll see a map of the area and your unit's positions. This is referred to as command mode. This is the screen you see in the background behind us now. Here you'll select the unit you'd like to move based on the position respective to the enemy and press A. Doing so uses up one of the command points, CP, displayed at the top of the screen. They reflect your ability as a commander and represent the number of times you can give instructions to control your units per each player phase. In this battle you have 3 CP, so you can issue instructions to your units up to 3 times. Let's try moving a unit now. So this is command mode that we have here. The 3 points we have at the top, those are our CP. Certain characters can add additional CP to your CP rating, so later on you can have, you know, 5, 10, 15, and they accumulate. So if I don't use the 3 of these and I swap turns, I'll have 6 next turn. Anyway,
Ready to go.
let's get into the game. Action mode. So use CP to select a unit in command mode and you'll be plunged into action mode, which is what we see here. Here you can freely move the unit and select the unit you selected around the field. As you move around in action mode, the AP or action points gauge at the bottom of the screen will deplete. This represents the unit's mobility. Once it reaches 0, the unit will be unable to move any further. Keep an eye on the unit's remaining AP while their motion is critical to keeping them safe. So it's just telling us to move near the sandbags. I think this game looks gorgeous. I think this looks gorgeous. I love this art style. About attacking. So right bumper to enter target mode. There the unit will be prepared to attack with their currently selected weapon, using the left stick to move the crosshairs onto the enemy and left or right bumpers to snap between targets. Enemies will not attack you while you're in target mode. Take your time to aim well and press before pressing A to fire. Your shots will land somewhere within the circle surrounding the crosshairs, so it's best to center it on the entire target. Shots at the head or other weak points will result in greater damage. A unit can only attack from target mode up to once per action, so choose wisely before you open fire. If the target survives your attack, they may launch a counterattack. A damaged unit may not have the HP, hit points, to survive the enemy's counter, so be careful when planning your attack. So we're going to also cheat a little bit, because I know a bit more. I can crouch here. So look at the bottom right real quick. That's our rifle. That's our main source of weapon. There's multiple different classes with different styles of weapons. We'll get to that later. But everyone... Oh, it won't actually let me swap because it's a tutorial. Like it said, you can use... you can attack once per action point. Once per round, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to attack. You're not forced to. And you can use anyone's additional stuff. So you can throw a grenade. That counts as your attack. You can heal or you can just do nothing. So let's get this nice, and we're going to go for the head. We're going to go a headshot.
Now.
There we go. We got him dead. A unit with 0 remaining AP that has already performed its attack in target mode is unable to act further. Press B to end your current action. This will return you to command mode where you'll be able to select the next unit you wish to direct. You can even press B and end a unit's action even if they have not attacked and still have AP. So, there you go. But me, I need to turn the sensitivity down on this stick a little bit. So here's the tutorial for using cover that we've already used. When standing near sandbags, the command crouch will appear. Press A to take cover behind them. While hiding behind cover, units are harder to target, take less damage, and are immune to headshots and critical damage. Meanwhile, units caught out in the open by enemy attacks will be easier to hit and could take significantly more damage. Advance carefully, moving from cover to cover, and always try to end your actions safely, hidden from harm. Doing so should keep your troops alive long enough to secure victory for Gallia. So we're gonna go forward nice and quickly. So see, he's attacking me. Now I want to get in. Yeah, this. the stick sensitivity is a bit much. So what we're going to do is...
My turn, okay?
Alicia just for the sake of it. So Alicia and Welkin are both scouts at the moment. Scouts have high mobility, as you can see by the massive movement bar and AP bar down the bottom. And they use rifles. Wow, that is a lot. They don't have the greatest hit points, but they're somewhere in the middle. Nice one, critical hits. Rifles have good accuracy, decent accuracy at least anyway, and do decent medium damage. The big thing is obviously they're scouts, so it's
ready to
scouting
go.
And visibility and recon. Yeah, I really need to change that. Just for the purposes of this, we're just going to run right up to him, because I know this is the very end of it, and we will pop him twice in the head. Game over, man. Game over. One turn. Should be an A rank.
I don't...
There we go. One turn, A rank. So, without getting too much into it here, we've got, on the top, we have the amount of turns we used, to the rank we got, the experience we got, and the... I can't remember what the currency is called, but we find out again in a little bit anyway. Those two things will come into play later on, which we'll explain then. I don't know why I say we. I'm the only one doing this, but which I'll explain then. So a new episode has been added. So, a hilltop promise. We're going to do this one, and then once the chapter rolls over, we'll end it here, and we move on to part 2. So you can already see, now that you've actually seen the in-game rendered stuff, you can see the lower resolution on these ones.
Miss Melchiot, there's no other sign of the enemy.
Good. Now, go keep watch and stay alert.
Yes, ma'am. What should we do with the bodies, ma'am?
We'll bury them. So it's begun. I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people of this town.
That was
I'll do
actually
it. Even going to war.
the first
I'll do it.
invasion into Gallia, the first that she's ever seen of Empire forces. Her first real combat. So everything is still set
What
in,
are
it's
those?
becoming real.
Seeds from the lion's paw. It blooms white, small, simple, and strong.
I want to be able to remember, once the war is over, that it wasn't all just people killing people. That even in war, there was also new life.
On the 15th day of the 3rd month of the year 1935, the Empire began its assault in earnest. A formal declaration of war was made upon Gallia. Though it was only a small front in a massive continental assault, what followed would prove that a tiny nation could best a military giant. These events would tell a story of tragedy hidden in the mists of time. A story of courage and of trust, of persecution and hate, and of love blooming even through the flames of war. What follows is a record of this conflict and of those who fought, lived, and died.
The Gallian front. So this is our first proper introduction. With the prologue over, Valkyria Chronicles has now officially begun.
Chapter 1. In Defense of Brule.
New episode has been added. So there we are, end of part 1 for Valkyria Chronicles. We're going to move on with part 2 now in a moment.